In this video, we're talking all about the Modern Warfare 3 zombie secrets that I currently know from my play session at Treyarch, as well as the many questions that myself and other zombie YouTubers asked when we had our Treyarch hands-on. And we're talking about topics like secret bosses, Easter egg quests, round-based zombies, and a lot more. Now, I'm also going to be dropping a video of my own personal opinions from my playtime of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, the good, the bad, the ugly, and that'll be coming out really soon. This video is going to dive more into specific details that I don't think a lot of channels have spoken about, and it's stuff that the hardcore zombies fans will really want to hear. So let's first talk about main Easter egg quests and set the record straight on them, because what we were told at Treyarch is that on launch we won't be getting a main Easter egg quest like we used to with traditional round-based zombies. What instead we're going to be getting is a story that is told to us in 3 different acts through different missions, very similar in style to DMZ, that will have their own climatic end mission, which is going to be akin to the traditional Easter egg quests that we're used to, whereby unlocking this final mission of that act, it's going to unlock a new point on the map where if you go over to it, it will be a red exfil icon compared to the normal one, which will say to exfil to a certain location, and there's a prompt underneath that says story quests will take you to a new location. Now, this isn't a new location within the Urzikstan map, but the way that Treyarch worded it was that it was a completely brand new small map created just for this story quest. So in the gameplay, it says exfil to neutralizer test site, and as you can see, the next moment, the mission is activated here called Outlast, which says to activate the PND. So the team that are playing go up to it, and these weird sort of hieroglyphics spawn on the wall, and then it says remain in the environment while there's an analysis progress, where I assume there's going to be zombies that spawn to make this process more difficult. But as you can see, there are dark ether crystals, and to me, this is likely to be a mission that will take you into the dark ether itself as part of that brand new map area. I don't think this was touched upon at all by Treyarch themselves during the reveal, but this is pretty big because these are entirely separate brand new maps that are created from the ground up by Treyarch that are not reusing the Warzone map. Now, a huge point of contention ever since this mode was revealed at COD Next on Thursday was that this is not round-based zombies, and it doesn't look anything like the zombies that we've grown up to love and enjoy so much. And whilst I completely understand that, and I agree with you, it seems like Treyarch almost anticipated that this backlash would happen, because at the Treyarch event, we asked them if they themselves realized that this has the potential to happen, that round-based zombie players were just not going to be happy with this mode. And the answer that we got is that they were definitely aware of it, and that there are some plans in the works for there to be something that, in their words, quote unquote, would satisfy round-based zombies players. Now, what does that exactly mean? We just don't know at this point. The game's not even out yet. Does this mean that they might do a Vanguard and revert to creating round-based zombies content before the year's finished with Modern Warfare 3? I mean, there is a chance, but I don't think that's going to happen. I honestly think the more realistic thing is that the new smaller maps created just for these story quests could be repurposed as round-based zombies experiences. I think that's a sensible thing that they could do, because it wouldn't take up any major resource in developing and creating brand new maps. It would just be moving those mechanics over. But judging by how heavily involved most of the Treyarch Zombies team are when it comes to this game mode, I genuinely don't see them reverting it and just going straight to round base. I think it's a very more likely scenario that round base is being saved for their Black Ops game next year, and with it being the next mainline Black Ops game that's going to continue on that main Black Ops narrative, it does make sense that they continue cooking on round base so that it delivers as the strongest round-based offering on launch that we've seen in many years. But for those of you worried that Zombies is ruined and it's never going to go back to the classic days, literally look at this tweet back during 2022 where Rizzo tweeted, "What if Forsaken was the last round-based map we ever get?" And Kevin Drew replied, "What a terrible thought, no thanks." Now, the next secret we're going to touch upon is the fact that there is going to be a new camo grind for all weapons inside of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Not many details were known, but now we know the names and the designs of all of the mastery camos inside of Zombies, which is going to be the new versions of Dark Ether camo grind. And these are Gold Enigma, Arachnida, Blood, Bioluminescent, and Dark Heart. Big shout out to the legend Modern Warzone, who recorded the emblems at the COD Next event and were able to showcase little previews of the camos here. But the Arachnida one especially, it being a Venom spider camo, I think that is absolutely incredible. And yeah, this is going to be a grind for every gun in the game, over 100 weapons, because this is going to be across all of the weapons in MW2 and MW3. Now, this next topic is extremely important because ever since the beginning of Zombies, people have always enjoyed playing it both solo and co-op, and this mode is definitely more co-op orientated. I'm pretty confident, just like DMZ, it's going to work where you're always going to be in a live lobby, a server with other real players. So obviously you are at a disadvantage if you play the game on solo, but Treyarch did acknowledge that there was definitely a disadvantage to playing this on solo and that they are looking into more ways to make it solo friendly. Now, I don't know what exactly that will entail, potentially spawning in with a self-revive kit as an example, or if the game knows that you're playing alone, then it can scale the zombies' health to match that, maybe even give you more health, give you more damage, or more likely it could follow a similar suit to DMZ where you will be able to passively upgrade yourself by completing side objectives as you're playing the game and doing the main objectives at the same time, but only time will tell. Now, we spoke earlier about the fact that there is not a main Easter egg quest at launch and they're being replaced with the story quests, but there is going to be main Easter egg quests at some point later on down the line. And what we're told is that there's going to be tons of secrets and lore scattered around the map that if you piece together, we'll be able to sort of reveal and sort of put the puzzle pieces as to what the future will look like story-wise, and will lead into the main Easter egg quests that will come. And this sounds very similar to how they did it with Outbreak and Cold War, where that did not launch with an Easter egg quest or actually any sort of quest whatsoever. But as time went on, more things were getting updated, there was more lore that gave us the ideas towards the first main Easter egg quest, and I think that'll be very similar here. Now, we need to touch upon also about secret bosses, because what we know so far is that there is, of course, the Mimics, the Manglers, we have a Mega Abomination, which is a three-headed, 3 times the size of a normal Abomination in the high threat zone, which is going to be a massive pain. It's also able to shoot babies out of its stomach, and we're able to smoke out buildings if you go and try and hide if it's chasing you, which I think is absolutely frightening. But at the end of the trailer, we got to see a sneak peek at a new secret mega boss. Now, I asked a question at Treyarch on if there would be any mega boss fights which would require the whole 24 players in the game, and that I personally thought it was a really good idea. And they were like, hey, you like that idea? Well, we might have worked on something similar to that. We may not. We may do in the future. Who knows? But they did sort of hint that that thing at the end was a mega boss fight. Now, I have heard some rumors that this could spawn if you are trying to do the final exfil, where the Ether Storm is already coming in, is engulfing the entire map, and you have to use the final exfil point in order to leave, that this thing could spawn, and if you don't kill it, then you will die. But if you do kill it, then you'll be able to exfil successfully. I mean, that could be a plausible thing and could be really, really cool. But the fact that they answered my question about it makes it seem like this is more centered around like a central thing that could be part of a secret quest or part of a main story quest, which makes this thing spawn in, because from our one game session of 1 hour, we did not come across this thing at all, so we don't quite know how to do it. But also, none of us tried to do that final exfil, so we genuinely don't know the answer to that question. Now, when it comes to the wonder weapons in MW3 Zombies, we have 2 returning fan favorites and we have 1 brand new one. We got the ray gun and a wonder waffle returning inside the mystery box, but there is also the brand new weapon called the Scorcher. Now, all 3 of these wonder weapons you can get just out of the box, and the longer you're in the game, the more chances you have of getting these out the box, just like you would in Cold War Zombies. But you can also find them by just completing missions and getting very lucky with the loot rewards, or finding them through a rare weapons case, or by finding the schematics to build them outside of the game. Now, none of us came across any of these weapon cases, so I don't know if it's similar in style to DMZ, but I don't believe that there is a boss that is carrying a case that you need to take down in order to get it. You will just come across the case, and inside you'll be able to take the weapon out and use it in that game, where once you've exfilled you will lose it, or you take the case out and in your next game you can choose to spawn in with it and be able to use the wonder weapon right there and then. But with these schematics, these are like blueprint plans that allow you to craft your own wonder weapon before you go into the game. Now, obviously, this sounds incredibly overpowered, and I asked about the cooldown on it, and for the ray gun, and I assume this is for the other 2 wonder weapons, there is a 48-hour cooldown, which is in real time, by the way, on how often you can craft these things. Now, for taking down zombies, the Scorcher looks absolutely awesome, but it has an alternate firing mode where it literally launches you across across the sky, like as if you were doing a bounce on the moon's surface. It's absolutely crazy. And you can use that to get away from big hordes really quickly, or to traverse around the map really quickly as well. I've got to give Treyarch props where it's due for a brand new wonder weapon. I mean, in Vanguard, the wonder weapon was a shield, but this is a brand new, fully fledged Treyarch-esque wonder weapon that seems super powerful and beefy. Now, this isn't much so a secret, but more just something which I don't think anyone's really aware of, is that all 10 perks from Black Ops Cold War are going to be returning within this mode, with some of them getting brand new buffs and benefits that we've never seen before, like Tombstone Soda. If you get that and you die out fully in your match, you will be able to get your tombstone back the following game, which is absolutely insane. So you could have died, you could log off for the day, go back on the following day, and on your first zombies match, if you go over to your tombstone, you'll be able to recover everything you had from that previous game, which is wild. All the perks that you have, if you go down and get revived, you will not lose your perks, which is pretty huge. None of the perks are tiered like they were in Black Ops Cold War, but some of them just naturally will have some of the benefits that they had from the higher tiers in Cold War automatically. And one of them, which was actually very useful, apparently according to Kevin Drew, was that depth perception was going to be really useful for if you're doing some of the side objectives that are around the map, such as the gameplay where you see the spores. Now, you have to shoot all of the spores in that particular area, that hut you're in order for that spores to completely disappear and give you access to the reward. But if you have depth perception, you'll be able to see through the walls and see exactly where the spores are, take them all out in a really quick, efficient manner. Because when we played, there was like one or two that were very well hidden that took a little while for us to spot. Now, all of this is just barely scratching the surface for Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Bear in mind that everyone that went to Treyarch and played literally only got to play one game for an hour, so it's really not enough time to get a massive amount of impressions and also to find out a bunch of secrets as well. I wish we could have spent more time. I know I could have been asking questions to Treyarch all day long, but hopefully you found this video really informative and useful. I'll be sure to update you on everything Modern Warfare 3 Zombies related on the road to launch, and I will be dropping a video of my impressions of what I think was good, bad, and ugly about Zombies very soon, so be sure on the lookout for that.